Hey guys, KRX50 here with another review. This time I'll be reviewing the RKF Rider Armor series, Kamen Rider Was, from Kamen Rider GO. This is a posable action figure of Kamen Rider Was, which includes one accessory. So, let's get started. And here we have Kamen Rider Was, so let's take a look. Now, while the Beyond Driver and Jidai Spear were mainly black with a good amount of green, Was himself is actually mainly a silver-colored rider, with black and green as the accent colors, along with metallic light blue. As far as his general design goes, he follows the trend of GO and Gates in that he's based on a different kind of watch. In this case, he's based on smartwatches. So you can see his head and face here, which has your typical rounded square of a smartwatch. With his antenna here, the Kamen mark on the forehead. And then similar to GO, he has Rider written in katakana, Ra-I-Da-A, though in this case it's more meant to fit in a circular loop, and it's also segmented because of the lines running through it. Now, as far as the colors go, while most of the body is silver plastic, there is a little bit of silver paint for the helmet. Getting down to the chest, we have the watch band running down the front and the back, and we have Waz's symbol here in the middle of his chest. Going to the sides, we have the shoulder pads, which are once again smartwatch displays, this time with the common symbol on both of them. Got the standard ride watch holders, or in this case, Mirai watch holders. Coming down to the waist, we have the Beyond Driver, which is very well molded to the point where they even have the molded in Was face for the projection, which is a very nice bit of detail. Got the legs, which have a little bit more of that light metallic blue, as well as the shins and feet. And this design is one that is more unique and is not shared, or does not share parts, with GO and Gates. Now, the interesting thing about this design is that before, or rather when he was initially released, there was a big comparison between Kamen Rider Was and Kamen Rider Necrom, and it's something I never really saw. And if we bring in the Necrom action figure, you can kind of see what I mean. Well, I do have a similar green color. In fact, I'm pretty sure they use the same kind of metallic green paint. There's definitely quite a bit of visual difference, especially in terms of the way the colors are used, how the lighter silver color is more on the outside, whereas the lighter white color on Necrom is more on the inside, and there really aren't that many similarities. I feel like it's the kind of thing that you would mainly see as a more gut reaction if you just saw them and didn't quite remember how Necrom looked and just saw a little bit of similarity, but they really are quite distinct. Articulation-wise, got a ball joint head, shoulders rotate 360 degrees, a full 90-degree bend, I have a bicep swivel, single jointed elbows and wrist swivel. Like with the other RKF figures, got an ab crunch instead of a waist joint. Then the legs go forward and back, in and out. Have a nice little roll in place of a thigh swivel, have a pretty deep single jointed knee, and then ball jointed ankles. His one accessory is the Jidai Spear in Yari mode. This one is a soft silver plastic, and once again, it's very well molded as far as the details go. You can see the top part with the spearhead. You'll see the Yari characters in there. Running down, we have the touch panel, which does have all the icons very well molded in. And then handle, which extends onto the back, and while you have some details here, like the symbol here, which is where the speaker would go on the deluxe toy, there of course are some hollow spots which is pretty typical of these kinds of weapons. Now you can see that there is a hole on the back of the handle. If we take a look at Woz's right hand, you'll see that there's a peg in there to help him hold it. So we can just plug that in, and as you saw, the Mirai watch holders are removable, so we'll get into that. Right, and now with it in there, we'll just plug the right, maybe we'll just remove the handle to do that. Admittedly, the grip is a little bit tricky to work with. Something like that. And you can plug this back on. Actually, I'm just going to cut and get this back on the guy. And here's Woz holding the Gikanda spear. So yeah, the grip is a little awkward for the shape of the Gikanda spear's handle. And that's just a product of having the kind of fixed pose hands rather than the ones with bendable finger joints. Though the peg does allow him to hold it pretty well, because of the way the articulation works, it's something that doesn't quite work in his favor if you want to get him into a two-handed pose. The handle isn't quite large enough, and trying to get it to move inwards is a little tricky. He doesn't have the best grip, but I think it could theoretically be possible to have him hold the weapon with two hands. You've just got something like that by moving the arms or the elbows inward. And while I'm not going to go through the hassle of getting this into the grip of the other hand, it is at least a little bit possible to have him hold this with both hands. Now, as hinted at by how I accidentally popped off one of the Mirai watch holders, the Kamen Woz figure is compatible with the rider armors. Though this is a bit of an incongruity, since in the show he actually can't use armor time, since as you saw with the Beyond Driver toy, if he uses a normal ride watch, they'll just activate the ride watch brake. But it is still possible, so I'll demonstrate that using the build armor. Now the process is pretty much the same as with Geo or Gates. The big difference here, though, is that the Beyond Driver is glued on there and it's not going to be removable, so we'll have to basically work around that. In this case, we basically need to fit this over the Beyond Driver, like so. Thankfully, it will fit, and we don't have to worry about that. Then we'll get on the arm pieces. And the leg pieces. Just like so. And we need to plug on the helmet, where we now have Kamen Woz build armor. Though this really doesn't work very well because you've got all the silver that's going along with the silver the armor, and because this is still designed as the GO side of the armor, and on the back is the Gates side, you don't really have any elements of Woz sticking out. So, I mean, the one way to kind of negate this would be to remove the face mask and just have Woz's normal helmet sticking through. But it also looks pretty awkward since you have these colors up here clashing with the rest of it. So while it is nice that he's compatible with these armors, they don't really look very good on him. And there we go. Overall, Kamen Woz is a solid RKF action figure. It's got very well molded and painted details, even down to very minor details that would have been easy to skip over. He also has a very good range of articulation. As you can see, he can even hold his weapon with both hands, if you can manipulate him just right. It is a shame that he doesn't really go along that well with the rider armors, but at least there's the option. Unfortunately, it seems that Bandai does not seem to have plans to release the actual equipment for his proper form changes within the rider armor series, so that may be something that's just left up to the Soto series. That being said, if you're looking for a good quality, affordable action figure for WoZ, I can definitely recommend picking this up. Next time, I'll be reviewing the Yokai Watch Elder Zero Engine Power-Up Kit, Tuesday at 6 PM PST. So, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you're new and would like to see more, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. And for now, this is KRX50, riding off.